creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Back, I'm talking to Chris Rock. Chris, thanks again for. Back, I'm talking to Chris Rock. Chris, thanks again for.
Okay. So are you telling me that Will Smith actually punched an alien?
Oh, dagnabbit! Oh, wait, I live here.
Okay. Isn't a phone recording this?
This is white. This is white. This is light brown. That's text. This is white. This is dark brown. Okay? This is a lighter brown. This is a lighter brown. Humanity is brown. We are all brown. There is no white or black people. We are all different shades of melanin.
Bro ended racism in 30 seconds.
This man was the most dangerous in the world. In 1963, in New York City, a man named Jerry Dunk ran a small hot dog stand on Main Street. But his hot dogs weren't just snacks. They were a sensation. People said they were the best they'd ever tasted. No one knew what made them so good. Jerry's secret recipe was a closely guarded mystery. Families lined up around his stand. Jerry always greeted them with a warm smile and a friendly attitude. He'd chat with the dads, talk about sports, or fishing. Many of the fathers said, "I'm just going back to Jerry's for another hot dog," and left with a smile. But they never came home. Police started an investigation. At first, Jerry was all smiles, playful, helpful, saying, "I'm just a guy with a grill." But as more men went missing, the police searched his house. What they found was horrifying. In Jerry's basement, hidden behind a locked steel door, there was a full-size basketball court. But that wasn't the scary part. At the other end of the room stood a massive industrial incinerator, its walls blackened with soot. Next to it, piles of men's clothing. When the police found him in his secret hideout, Jerry just smiled and said, "First rule of the game, you gotta win." When they asked where the missing men were, he pointed to the incinerator and whispered, "I'm the king of Dunk." Then he ran straight toward the flames, and now you can probably guess how he kept his hot dogs hot.
I definitely thought he was going to say human meat in the hot dogs.
I just watched one of the most disturbing documentaries I've ever seen. It takes a lot to make me audibly gasp and turn it off, considering I watched 1,000 documentaries just this year. I did try to make a video about it, but TikTok kept taking it down or removing it from the For You feed. If you go to my page and you go to the video before this one, that's it. It just can't go on the For You feed. This documentary is also banned in India, and I'm sure some other places. I don't want to say too much about it here because I want people to be able to watch it without it being censored. It is called India's Daughter. If you want to know more, just go to my video before this.
Watch House of Secrets.
Nope.
You can see the woman in the reflection on the right, clearly watching it. It's all fixed.
We're used to dealing with intruders. But this, wow, this is something else entirely. Just wait and see. The craziest thing is about to happen.
AI.
Oh my god.
How can this happen?
Definitely AI.
What you're looking at right now is the deepest gold mine on Earth. It sits in South Africa's northwest province. It's called the Mponeng Gold Mine.
Mponeng.
Mining operations began here back in 1986. Today, its shafts plunge to an incredible depth of more than 3 miles underground. Every shift, miners ride high-speed elevators, switching lifts multiple times, and it takes about 80 minutes just to reach the deepest work zone. At those depths, natural rock temperatures soar to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. That's far beyond what humans can tolerate. To keep the tunnels workable, giant systems pump in slurries of crushed ice every day, cooling the air down to below 86 degrees Fahrenheit. The tunnel walls are reinforced with flexible sprayed concrete and further secured with steel fibers and diamond-shaped mesh. But even with all that, conditions remain harsh. Still, the rewards are enormous. The mine produces around 22,000 pounds of gold each year. On a typical day, nearly 50 trucks and 50 excavators are working at once, making it the largest gold mining operation on the planet. As of December 2019, experts estimated another 36 million tons of ore lie beneath, with the potential to yield over 680,000 pounds of gold. And with so much still underground, you can't help but wonder, if they just keep digging, could they actually drill their way through the earth?
Yup.
Иду домой, на часах пол-первого. Но я же хрупкая девушка. Я же такая беззащитная. Что идет за ним? Мне страшно, но на самом деле я жду, чтобы ко мне кто-то подошел. Потому что бояться буду не я. Забудут меня. И моя жажда мести. Ведь этот город. Ну что, маньяки, вы готовы поиграть со мной?
A Justin Bieber impersonator managed to trick Las Vegas nightclub security into letting him perform several of the pop star's songs on stage before being kicked out of the venue. The imitator, Dylan Desclose, sang to a lively crowd at XS Nightclub, with DJ Griffin documenting the scam on social media. Desclose and his team ran up a tab of nearly $10,000 on bottle service before being banned for life from entering Wynn Resorts. The incident left clubgoers and staff surprised and disappointed, with Desclose claiming it was his team behind the deception.
So he performed. They should be paying him.
Offering free whiskey and vodka shots, and so I was kind of getting them to pour the vodka into a cup, and I was mixing it with like soft drinks. And in terms of when I thought something might be wrong, I mean, not really until the next day, I would say, is that's when I started to notice that something might be wrong. I remember like having this sort of like kaleidoscopic, blinding light in my eyes, and to the point at which I couldn't see anything. And I said to my friends, you know, that I don't remember the exact conversation we had, but it was that it was strange, but we thought, you know, it was probably food poisoning. And I remember we were sitting in our hotel room, my friends and I said to them, you know, why are we sitting in the dark? Someone should turn a light on. And they said to me, you know, there is a light on in here. And once I got back to England, in the hospital there, that's when I think they said, oh, they heard cases of poisoning at this particular hospital.
Oh, man.
And I actually found out that 2 girls that we'd been out with on that evening had died.
Oh my goodness. So sad. I hope his eyesight will return.
Yesterday, the man himself, Lord Jacob Rothschild, the richest Rothschild of modern times, died at 87. And while most of us have heard of the Rothschild family, it's wild how few people know what they actually do and how they made their money. You see, their wealth began with a Jewish man named Amschel Moses Bauer, who opened a counting house in Frankfurt, Germany in 1743, 280 years ago. And above the door, he placed a sign depicting a Roman eagle with a red shield. The shop became became known as the Red Shield Firm, or Rothschild in German. And when Amschel passed this store down to his son, Meyer, he changed his surname from Bauer to Rothschild after the store. And that is where the domination begins. Meyer scaled his father's business of dealing coins and lending money until he learned something that literally changed the course of history. He realized that lending money to governments and kings is far more profitable than lending money to private individuals, because not only were the loans much bigger, but they were secured by us, the nation's taxpayers. So when you hear about governments in debt trillions of dollars, well, they are in debt to private central banks that are set up by the likes of the Rothschilds. So after learning this information, Meyer, who had 5 sons, trained them in the art of money creation and sent them on a mission to set up banks in Frankfurt, Germany, London, England, Paris, France, Vienna, Austria, and Naples, Italy, and in effect becoming the first bank to transcend borders. Using these skills and the initial sum of money that their father gave them, they grew the Rothschild empire to a scale so enormous, the son in France, for example, became 150 million francs richer than every other banker in the country combined. And because they had banks all over Europe, they went on to finance both sides of the Napoleonic Wars. They once saved the Bank of England from collapse with their own money, for a fee of course. They essentially provided the money for the industrialization of America and Europe, financing everything from construction of railroads, factories, mining and printing companies. They financed the British purchase of the Suez Canal, raised the money that Brazil needed to pay for its liberation from Portugal, and when the British government issued the Balfour Declaration letter supporting an establishment of a national home for Jewish people, the Israel we know today, it was addressed to Lionel Walter Rothschild. And remember Meyer, the father of those 5 sons? Well, before he died, he said that he wanted to keep the enormous fortune within the family. So in his will, he outlined a rigid system of succession whereby the title and property could only pass through the male line, and female descendants were excluded from any direct inheritance. But the problem is that this had the effect of encouraging marriages among family members. Between these dates, there were 36 marriages. Of these, 30 were within the family, most of them marrying first or second cousins. Talk about keeping it within the family. Literally. Fast forward to today, it's really hard to estimate the family's true wealth because over 280 years, they've produced hundreds of descendants, many of which have started their own thing and many with little business ambition at all. And because there's endless tricks in business to hide one's true wealth, with shell companies, trust funds, assets not in your name, etc., we may never know the true wealth of the Rothschild family of modern times.
So the Rothschild is basically controlling the government?
This American cop was pure evil. Everyone in the small town of Grayson, Florida called him Officer Friendly. His actual name was Jabron Lames. He'd hand out candy to kids, help old ladies cross the street, and always smiled during parades. But behind that smile was something evil. In 1967, 12 people went missing. No bodies, no clues, just gone. All from the same street, all young men, all between 16 and 22. Locals whispered that Officer Friendly was always first on the scene. One kid, 17-year-old Travis, said he saw something. He told his mum he saw the cop dragging a duffel bag out of the woods behind his house. That night, Travis disappeared too. When the FBI finally got involved, they raided Officer Friendly's basement. They found uniforms, IDs, teeth, bones, and tapes. He had been making films, snuff films, of his victims, dressed in fake police uniforms, begging for their lives. Officer Friendly wasn't arrested. He shot himself in the mouth the moment they kicked in the door. But every year on that street, people still report hearing a siren and a knock on the door, even though no one's there.
I smell more BS.
There is a
not yet
A-list female that we've all heard of. We've all heard of.
Not a musician though.
No.
Okay.
Well,
she's from LA. She's from LA.
Yes.
Okay.
A-list female. I'll give you another hint. This is something I've never said before. She's white.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about right now?
I have a few names that's floating.
Okay, so a A-list white female that everyone in the world has heard of more or less.
Okay, what's her
Paris
thing? 'Cause
Hilton.
I've heard of a few of them, and they'll pay younger black.
One of the male escorts that I interviewed told me this off camera, didn't want to get on camera and say this. Said that he was paid to do like a party for her. And a couple days later, she paid him to fuck her while her soon-to-be husband watched.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
And he thinks that the husband is gay, based on, I don't know, was he jacking off? I was like, no, he just stood there and watched. But I kind of got sort of like a gay type of vibe from him.
You know what's so interesting about the fallout from this?
Bro, Rihanna almost ruined her career after doing Illuminati signs in front of 115 million people. People might not remember, but that day, we'd never seen that much dark symbolism during a Super Bowl. Rihanna shows up in a bright red outfit and throws up the Illuminati sign in front of everyone. Even the platform she was on was literally shaped as a triangle as well. Super weird and obvious, but apparently nobody cared. Then the rest of them jumped in too. Sam Smith and The Weeknd gave some of the most satanic performances ever. Lizzo had an actual 6 drawn on her forehead. Doja Cat and all the other celebs were doing the same type of stuff. Are you finally seeing it or not? We're all getting played by their pretty image, but it's all lies. And did she really do that day? Don't tell me she actually sniffed her finger after that. Then you got Damar Hamlin. If you know who he is, he took it even further at the Super Bowl. Dude showed up wearing a jacket with a messed up image of Jesus on the cross, looking like a clown or a zombie. Just look at what's written on the front of that jacket. Even the press called it blasphemous. He was even throwing up weird hand signs with LeBron. They're all mocking us. Rihanna even showed up with a huge upside-down cross that straight up talked about mind control. Yeah, we get it now, they've all switched sides. This all happened right in front of everyone, and nobody reacted because they know how to keep you asleep.
The devil isn't even hiding anymore.
There's no satellites out there either, nigga. There's no satellites.
They have so many compartments that break off when he goes. So how is the shit the same when it lands? Yeah. Same shit takes off. Or even the satellite.
No, there's no satellites. They are hanging satellites in the firmament. This is our GPS system. They screwing shit into the firmament, and that's the permanent GPS system. Call it space. But the space between Earth and God is called the firmament. And until he opens that up, it's going to be continued. Firmament. We're his pets. Imagine having hamsters and they wild a motherfucker. If you let them out, they eat your dog and your cats. You gotta have a cap on it, don't you? That's called the firmament. It's in the Bible. Nothing will get through the firmament.
That means the moon and the sun are inside of the dome also?
Drank the blood of the sacrifice of the person, his complexion came back to life. There was a ritual in the White Mountains of Arizona. They physically brought like a black stone altar. They trucked this thing in and then carried it into the White Mountain Apache reservation to their high place that's out there. And they brought a huge pig with them. And the man who was the high priest over it came up from Phoenix, Arizona to govern this ritual. He had that brown, charred, soggy skin and feeble, like needing help, but he was the master of ceremonies. As people took their positions and began to initiate that ritual, when they slaughtered the pig on the altar, abuse is happening around it. When he drank the blood of the sacrifice of the person, his complexion came back to life. Like he lost 20 years on his life. His skin transformed in front of my face to be that of a much younger man. And his spine stood erect. The joints of his hands were straightened out. That is a vampire.
Kris Jenner, out of curiosity, have you seen her transformation? Could it be that she did such act?
So do y'all remember those suspicious pictures of Lil Baby and Michael Rubin that resurfaced a while back? Well, he recently did an interview with Lil Yachty and basically just denying the claims and saying that absolutely nothing happened.
Even the whole Mike Rubin thing, I don't play with niggas, period. On no funny weird shit. I'm dapping Kuzman up. Mike happy to see me, he run up on me. I got 10 other pictures, we down there, we start down there, bam, I'm telling his ass, Mike, I'll slam your ass on your neck. But we play like that. Bro, it's 100 people at the party, we in the middle of 100 people. There's nothing weird we could be doing in the party with all these people watching us.
Now, we learned from Diddy that there absolutely can be a lot of weird things happening at parties, specifically all white parties. And then he claimed that there were 100 other pictures that were taken, but none of them were uploaded because y'all allegedly always play like that. I don't know, just doesn't sound right to me. When it comes to the game, believe the changes that you start to see in these people. Believe the people that you start to see them hanging around. Believe how their music changes, the album covers, the lyrics, etc.
They got him.
Scott was caught entering the home of Michelle Lamey, the infamous celebrity witch and leader of a mysterious cult known for its black magic rituals. That day, there was no one else in the house but the two of them. And what's even more shocking, Travis visited her exactly 4 years after the deadly Astroworld performance. Shortly after, a photo surfaced. In the picture, the two are lying in complete darkness, lit only by a glowing orb floating between them. Michelle is laughing eerily, while Travis looks like he has no idea where he is. But the scariest part came the next day. Travis canceled all public appearances, and fans noticed something else strange. In every new photo, Travis is wearing a ring identical to the one Michelle has worn for years.
The Astroworld show was a satanic ritual. He sacrificed his fans.
What? Okay.
I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering
They
how
just
everyone's
came
doing.
in.
Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
All right, it looks like Courtney doesn't really want to go there with
I think
that
she's
question.
blanking me. I think she's totally blanking me
I
on
think
that
there's
question.
probably a PR person there saying, you know, don't talk about it, but...
She could just say her sister's fine.
At the beginning, you can hear the person say, "Stop talking."
Did they buy Speed for $140 million? How did he go from recording in his room to being internationally famous? Speed had 0 industry friends until he hit 1 million subscribers. Then when he hit 1 million, Aiden Ross, Kai Cenat, Drewski, KSI, they all reached out to him. Then in 22, he hired his best friend, promoted him to a manager. The owners of Kick, Ed Craven and Matt Leobovitz, offered him a part of $140 million. Speed publicly said no, and what did Aiden Ross say?
Fuck you and that manager, that dirty hillbilly manager. You ruined Speed, you're a piece of shit.
Even though Speed never brought me on stream, he might be legit. Let me know your thoughts below.
Mao Zedong on the wall is crazy, man.
I told y'all it was demonic, but nobody wanted to listen to me. And in this video that I just found, that literally no one is talking about, it blatantly shows that Cardi B is not real, but she works for evil. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Cardi B's been known for glitching out, where she'll randomly freeze and kind of act like an NPC. But in this video, she slipped out because to an extent, she displayed who she's working for. Now, what do I mean? I'm saying that Hollywood's known for worshiping Satan, constantly making references and constantly having symbolic gestures, all of these different things. And whoever is controlling Cardi B, they shouldn't have let her slip up, because now the whole world knows what's going on. And if she has such a huge influence on society, doesn't that mean they're controlling you too?
I hate humans.
What?
Humans I hate. So.
Yup, she's glitching alright.
So we have some breaking news on, of all people, Marilyn Monroe. Now, the man who autopsied Marilyn says the official story is wrong, and for 60 years he wasn't allowed to tell the truth. Dr. Thomas Noguchi was just 35 years old when he was assigned to examine the body of the most famous woman in the world. She was found nude, face down, her hand still resting on the phone, and the official cause of death was listed as probable taking her own life from sleeping pills. But Dr. Noguchi says that never added up, and here were the first red flags. He was brand new, still on probation, and somehow he got handed this massive celebrity case. Not the chief coroner, not even a senior pathologist. But he did the autopsy professionally, and what he found was interesting. And what he didn't find was even more interesting. Now, what he found were fatal levels of barbiturates in her blood, but what he didn't find were any pills, not even pill residue in her stomach. There were also no needle marks anywhere on her body, despite conspiracy theories that you might have heard. And then get this, the toxicology lab decided not to...
She was murdered for what she knew of the Kennedys. What do you think?
Tell that come over here. Tell that goofy, tell I am Cardi B to bring her goofy
over here. Because I'm sick and tired of her. Enough. Leave Tyler alone.
Dragging the out of Tyler.
It's like, I just think y'all don't like celebrities.
I'm starting to feel that people just don't like celebrities.
No, we don't like frauds, fakers, losers, and tether, that's what we don't like. Cardi B, the imaginary player.
Shut up, stop whining. Cardi still shining.
And you and your cousin Glorilla, drunk and all twerked out and all tuned out. Imagine winning Gospel Award at that demonic BET ceremony, all to turn around and get popped for being an addict and getting caught driving under the influence.
You don't know who I am. Enlighten me on who you are. So, cause you still gonna pick on me.
Or maybe it's finally the karma of all of those men you pharmaceuticaled up and robbed and put in a bad situation. And I dare you to say something. You Dominican fraud. I'm gonna call you out. This is me holding you accountable for your lack of integrity, your lack of intelligence, you clown, fraud, Dominican nut. You don't get to dress your way up and play victim with this one. You don't. Jigga Man giving you permission to use somebody else's record? Does he own Renee and Angela's catalog? Does he?
Finally, people are seeing the truth.
A buddy one time who was making LSD, and he would send it to these girls that would go around to concerts and sell it for like $20 a hit. One time he got pulled over. He had put the LSD in a shot glass, and he said, so we were dabbing with little eyedropper the night before, right? He said, well, there was still a little bit in the shot glass. He said, well, I took the shot glass and put it in the console, right? It dried out, so there's like a residue at the bottom. He said, it almost looks like salt. He said, but look, you have to understand, if you were to rub that and put it in your mouth, he said, that's like 200 hits right there. So they were driving in a van. And you had to look at this guy. He looked like a hippie, but he said, we're driving to a concert in a van. He was like, we look like we have drugs on us. He said, but we don't. Other than that one little bottle, he said, the girl that sold the stuff for him had already come by and picked it up earlier at the hotel. So we're headed to the concert. We're driving the concert, we get pulled over. They want to search the car. He said, but luckily, like, you open the back. He's like, well, we had nothing in it. He said, well, he said, while we're standing there, the cop goes, what's this? And he looked at it, he said, you've been drinking? He's like, no, that's from last night. The cop goes, put his finger in it and went. And he said, literally, when he went like that, he and his friend went, they're like, oh, and so he went like that, and the guy goes, walked over, he said, okay, you guys are good. He goes, so we get in the van, we drive. He's like, well, we're driving. He's like, so they go immediately, and they're running around the concert looking for the girls to say, we all have to get out of here. This guy just got dosed himself with 200 hits of acid. It's going to be a problem here any minute now. And he said, so while we're looking for them, and we grab one of them, and then we're looking for the other one, he said at some point, while they're trying to get to their car through the crowd without seeing anybody, he said there's a couple of cops with the main cop walking around, and they're holding him. He's looking like they're trying to get him to point out who they are, and he's all wobbly and he's like, I mean, I can only imagine when that hit. Hilarious.
These scientists disappeared after finding out what happens after death. Watch this.
A research lab in Eastern Europe figured out exactly what happens to you the second you die, but then their entire research team disappeared.
Someone explain this.
Yeah, this research team was working on a project called Project Denitas, and they figured out what happened the exact second that you die. And they were doing this by mapping consciousness and using AI integration to figure this all out.
Right.
Oh, goody. So what they figured out the moment that people die is that a massive surge of gamma activity happens, and they figured out that this isn't a normal surge of gamma activity. It's way more than anyone would experience as they're alive.
Crazy stuff.
But they figured out this wasn't a random surge. This happened to every test subject that they did it on, and they figured out that this was some sort of structured code that was implemented. What? So they used this machine that turns brainwaves into pictures to see what this gamma wave was, and what they saw was voices, sounds, tunnels. They saw entire cities made of sound. Oh, exciting!
Yep. Afterlife is the real life.
I'm like, well, why is that? Are they eating bad candy? What's going on here? He's like, no. They have these vans that come around, and they tell the homeless they're going to take them to a shelter. They've got whole big meals set up for them and showers, and they can wash their clothes and all this. And a lot of them get in the vans and go. And then they tie them up and they hold them for the 31st. And then they sacrifice them on the evening of Halloween to the devil.
What?
And it's like a perfect crime because nobody's looking for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they literally put the truth right in front of your face in 2025, and still people just completely forget about what they just showed you. Think about this, right? These robots and these masks, by the way. And don't forget that they are decades, literal decades farther. I mean, what we could even believe that they have. And now they're showing us this while they have artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence going on. These masks and all the weird things we've been seeing on the TV lately. You know, the really weird wrinkles in the neck and just weird creases in the face that should not be there. It's pretty crazy, right? And of course, it is all for entertainment, but wait till you see the end on just how amazing it looks.
Wow.
Entertainment. But what if these things were all over the place in front of us on this TV and we just had no idea? Also, we only ever see the front of these people as well. Just throwing that out there for no reason at all.
The military only release all technology to people in mass. New to us, but ancient history to them.
So today I want to talk about this guy, Masaru Emoto. He's a Japanese doctor. He did this water experiment. He got jars of water and he put them on a shelf, and he used to speak words to them. And every day he would speak certain words to them. So just on here, you've got compassion. So he'd say like compassion, compassion, compassion to the jar of water. And what does that look like?
A snowflake.
A snowflake. That's probably the prettiest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
You fool. What does that look like?
Death.
Death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like sort of, yeah, like that's a good word.
Like
Death.
a skull.
Look at the one at the prayer down the bottom. Prayer looks like, well, they all look like a version of snowflakes, just some bit different than other. And peace looks like glowing, amazing. Why this is important is because our body is water. So what if your self-talk was, you're just hopeless. You are hopeless. You're just an addict. You're hopeless. You fool.
Look like that.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you know, I need to do better. Like, or not even that. Like, I just, I always get it wrong. Why me? That's exactly that. But Albert Einstein used to say thank you hundreds of times a day. He used to just, in his mind, say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, look at thank you. Thank you looks amazing. Looks like a piece of jewelry. So what if your body was responding like that every day? This is an energy world. And when you start becoming really aware and sensitive to the energy, you're going to start running your life like that. Oh, hang on, that feels great. I'll just get myself back. Or I might eat that bit of food because I know it's not going to make me feel good. It's going to affect my energy flow. Don't want to do that because I want to end up somewhere amazing today. I want to keep the momentum going. And when you start doing that, you'll notice it and you'll notice it and you'll move it and keep working it and keep working it. And over time, you'll become an energy master. And you'll get so good at managing energy that you'll see that it is the key to everything that you want. And when you do that, boom, your results will change. Boom, your life will change. Boom, your finances will change. Everything will change. Because it has to. It is law. It's a universal law. The better you feel, the better things go. You just got to get great at it.
You know, I'm going to start saying thank you 100 times a day.
Did you know that an island as big as Borneo keeps moving every year? How is that possible? So, Indonesia is located on 3 large tectonic plates, each moving in a different direction. The Indo-Australian plate in the south is moving north and meets the Jurassic plate, which is moving south. This meeting creates a subduction zone or collision between plates, creating volcanoes and earthquakes in Sumatra, Java, and Bali. Then in the east, the Pacific plate is moving west, pressing on the Papua and Sulawesi regions, causing many active faults there. Meanwhile, our main star, Borneo, is far from the collision zone and plate faults. This causes Borneo to be relatively stable, being pushed southwest by 7 centimeters per year and in 10 million years, moving about 700 kilometers closer to Sumatra and Java. Yeah.
He burned his slaves at the stake.
Crazy.
That's why it's called Belmont Stakes. Because the slave owner was called August Belmont Schurenberg. Wait a minute now. August Belmont Schurenberg was the father of the New York State Democratic Party. And August Belmont Schurenberg created, the Belmont Stakes. He never whipped his slaves. He burnt his slaves at the stake. That's why the horse race is called the Belmont Stakes.
That's crazy.
Because he looked at black men, women, and children as cattle, as horses.
Ugh.
The Belmont Stakes. August Belmont, Schoenberg, Belmont Stakes. He was the father of Wall Street. So Wall Street was built upon the backs of slaves. Over 20,000 slaves are buried beneath the streets of Wall Street to this day. Over 20,000 slaves. That's why they were auctioned through a draft. NFL draft, NBA draft,
Wow.
NHL, Major League Baseball draft. It doesn't. The system doesn't care what color you are. You're still a slave. Not you're not. So that's why Wall Street is called Wall Street, because the thousands of slaves were lined up along the East River, and now Wall Street is the financial capital of the world.
Every hidden history chapters, gets more sickening.
What is it that increases the electrons in our body and what decreases them? Watch this.
So it is with the battery packs in the human body. On one side, it's how many electrons are we putting in? And there are a lot of electron donors. Electron donors can be getting out in the sun, can be walking barefoot in the grass. It can be leaning up your body up against a tree because the tree has electrons and will donate them to you. Hugging an animal. A common way that makes people in nursing homes feel better is to buy them a dog or a cat. They hold the dog or the cat and get electrons from it. The animal runs outside and recharges itself and brings some back to you. Moving water is an electron donor, whereas still water tends to be an electron stealer. Moving air is an electron stealer. So that's why when you ride in a convertible, you look really cool, but you're always tired when you get there because the wind steals electrons from you. So on one hand, we look at what things can put electrons in the body, and then what things steal them. And again, the most common stealers are dental infections, emotional baggage, various toxins, particularly the toxins that we are getting from things like GMO foods, and pesticides and other kinds of things, air pollution. There's a lot of toxins around us. And of course, one can almost include in the concept emotional baggage. They're toxins in a different way in that they rob us of voltage that we should be using for something else.
This is Dr. Jerry Tannen, who wrote the amazing book, Healing is Voltage.
Fuck are we gonna start taking this cartoon more seriously? Because they predicted this, and this. But this is their most terrifying prediction yet.
I used a non-stick pan.
Don't you know that non-stick pans are made with PFOAs?
Oh boy, here it comes.
There is only one thing more dangerous than PFOAs, Marge. Plastics made with PPAs. Never ever let your child near any product with the number 7!
There's truth in humor. Microplastics can fuck your shit up. They can disrupt your hormones, your endocrine system. It's why so many people are always tired, have brain fog, low energy, irritable, and have a bunch of other issues. Now, aside from the obvious, there's one thing you can do to get ahead of this. It's called sulforaphane. Studies show it strengthens the gut, detox pathways, and stops you from absorbing toxins. So if you drink, eat, wear, or even use these,
oh man,
you need this.
I use that.
Given how effective sulforaphane is, there's a good chance you probably never heard of it. And that's because powerful people make billions pumping this shit into your products. If you want microplastics out of your system, give blood, eat a ton of cruciferous vegetables, or take something like this. It's a new tea with the highest single serving of sulforaphane on the market. You can find this on Amazon. Do yourself a favor and get it before it's gone.
They're simply telling you what they're gonna do. Nothing is just happening by coincidence.
Hollywood in the early 1900s was just a small farming community outside Los Angeles. A century ago, it was all citrus groves and dirt roads. Then the studios came. The film industry's move west was driven by a need to escape Thomas Edison's Motion Picture Patents Company, which controlled almost all of the filmmaking equipment and production on the East Coast. The distance from Edison's base made it harder for him to enforce his patents, and California's climate and consistent sunlight made year-round filming possible. In 1915, director D.W. Griffith released The Birth of a Nation, considered a landmark in cinematic technique, but also highly controversial for its glorification of the Ku Klux Klan. Facing widespread criticism, Griffith began production on a follow-up. He wanted to surpass his earlier film and take the heat off. The result was Intolerance. Released in 1916, a 3.5-hour epic weaving together 4 storylines: the fall of Babylon, the crucifixion of Christ, the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre in France, and a modern American story about social injustice. For the Babylon scenes, Griffith commissioned what was then the largest and most elaborate film set ever built. It featured massive ceremonial gates, winged human-animal figures, and the rosette motif associated with the Tree of Life. The scale was immense. The walls rose more than 100 feet, and the set dominated the Los Angeles skyline for years after filming wrapped. When the Hollywood and Highland complex was built in 2001, its designers deliberately recreated parts of Griffith's Babylon set, including the colossal winged guardians and the rosette above the central archway. Millions pass beneath them each year, often unaware they are walking through a modern reconstruction of Mesopotamian temple imagery. Hollywood is full of ancient symbolism. Lionsgate recalls the monumental lion gates of Mycenae in Babylon. The MGM logo frames a roaring lion in a ceremonial arch. Hollywood Pictures uses an Egyptian sphinx. TriStar's Pegasus is the winged horse of Greek myth, linked to divine inspiration. Columbia Pictures depicts a robed woman holding a torch, an image tied to the Roman goddess Libertas and to Isis of Egyptian tradition. In the ancient world, these figures marked a threshold. Passing between them meant leaving the human realm behind and entering the domain of the gods. So what is Hollywood telling us? That it too is a gate, guarding a lineage inherited from the temples of the old world. Hollywood likes to think of itself as the new storyteller, the keeper of the modern myth.
Because the industry is a tool used by fallen angels to control and deceive.
Is massive. The future of antibiotics could be changed forever thanks to AI. That's because scientists from MIT have just used artificial intelligence to invent 2 new types of antibiotics, which is something that hasn't been done in decades. And not only that, but they say that it will, quote, spark a second golden age of antibiotic discovery. But why this is so significant is that these 2 new types of antibiotics are reported to have the capacity to fight infections which are resistant to current available medications. And those infections are associated with about 5 million deaths per year. And we're at this point because the same antibiotics have been prescribed for decades, allowing bacteria to become resistant, forming what's known as superbugs. But that's possibly all about to change, because through the use of generative AI algorithms, it says researchers have designed more than 36 million possible compounds and scanned them for antimicrobial properties, which successfully led to the discovery of new antibacterial molecules that are distinct from any other antibiotics currently available on the market. Now, despite how huge that may be, they still have several rounds of refinement and testing will still need to take place. But hopefully this could hit the market within the next few years, and this is considered a significant medical breakthrough.
All right, so look, have you ever wondered why they always tell you to fear the very thing that could set you free? Every time we get close to real power, they throw a monster mask on it. They say, don't go near that symbol. Don't touch that knowledge. That's the devil. But I need you to see the trick. Why would your oppressor warn you away from something unless it had power in it? Take Baphomet, for example. They plaster this goat-headed figure everywhere and call it satanic, and program you to fear before you even begin to think. But pause. What is it really? Baphomet ain't no devil. It's a code. It's the law of polarity written in an image. Male and female. Light and shadow. Human and animal. Spirit and matter, all joined in one body. It's telling you that nothing is separate, that everything is connected, and the only way to master yourself is to integrate all sides of your being. The torch between the horns, that's illumination. That's the fire of knowledge in the mind. That's what lights you up inside. That's what shows you that the kingdom is within. And the wings? That's transcendence, rising above the flesh into higher realms. Even the goat itself, it's not evil. The goat is fertility, vitality, untamed energy, nature in its rawest form. Now see how they flipped it? They took the codes of balance and light and turned it into terror, so you never decode it. And this is not just with Baphomet. They do this with every symbol. The serpent in Kemet, in Africa, the serpent was wisdom, Kundalini rising up the spine, DNA activation. But they told you it was Satan. The pentagram, in its true form, it's the 5 elements in balance. It's the human body in harmony with nature. But they painted it black and red and made you think that it was witchcraft. Even your Ankh, the African key of life. They buried it under the cross, stripped the womb out of it, and told you their version was the only sacred symbol. See, this is how they keep you away from your inheritance. They put fear around your ancestral codes. They whisper, don't touch that. It's evil. While at the same time, they're in their lodges, their fraternities, their secret orders, studying those same symbols and writing whole systems of control with them. That's the cruel joke. They don't fear the symbol. They fear you understanding it. Because here's the truth. The devil ain't in the symbol. The devil is in the distortion. They wanted you afraid of images because once the fear takes root, you stop thinking, you stop looking deeper, you stop decoding. If you never decode, you will never unlock the laws that govern this universe. Symbols are not drawings, they're memory. They're ancient libraries compressed into form. They bypass your intellect and speak to the subconscious directly. That's why pyramids, eyes, spirals, circles, they all vibrate in you whether you know the meaning or not. Ancestors used them as maps to the cosmos, reminders of who you are. But the colonizer turned them into haunted houses, so the moment you see them, you run. And while you run, they rule. They build their cities on sacred geometry. They align their monuments with the stars. They use color psychology, numerology, and occult timing in their politics, their wars, their economies. They're playing with your science in your face. And because they've trained you to call it evil, you won't touch it. But here's the shift. Once you stop being afraid, the spell breaks. You realize that Baphomet is not a devil. It's a mirror. The serpent is not evil. It's wisdom rising. The pentagram is not a curse. It's your body, your elements, your temple in alignment. The Ankh is not forgotten. It's the key to life, hidden under another man's cross. Don't worship symbols, and don't fear them either. Decode them. Look through them. Every symbol that they demonized is a doorway back to yourself. The lock is fear, but you hold the key, knowledge. And once you start unlocking them, the whole house of lies comes crashing down. If you stop being afraid of the mask, then you see the truth of the face behind it. And that truth is simple. You are God in the flesh, and the entire universe is encoded with
Jesus is the only truth, and we're not God.
My name is Montague William III, and what I will tell you may well sound absurd, but the less who believe it, the better for me. For you see, I'm in banking and a big industry. For many a year we have controlled your lives, while you all just struggle and suffer in strife. We created the things that you don't really need, your sports cars and fashions and plasma TVs. I remember it clearly how all this begun. Family secrets from father to son, inherited knowledge that gives me the edge, while you people lie sleeping at night in your beds. We control the money that controls your lives, whilst you worship false idols and wouldn't think twice about selling your souls for a place in the sun. These things that won't matter when your time is done. But as long as they're there to control the masses, I just sit back and consider my assets, safe in the knowledge that I have it all, while you common people are losing your jobs. You see, I just hold you in utter contempt. But the smile on my face, well, it makes me exempt. For I have the weapon of global TV, which gives us connection and invites empathy. You would really believe that we look out for you, while we bankers and brokers are only a few. But if you saw that, you'd take back the power. Hence, daily terrors to make you all cower. The panics, the crashes, the wars, and the illness that keep you from finding your spiritual wholeness. We rig the game, and we buy out both sides to keep you enslaved in your pitiful lives. So, go out and work as your body clock fades. And when it's all over, a few years from the grave, you'll look back on all this, and just then you'll see that your life was nothing, a mere fantasy. There are very few things that we don't now control. To have lawyers and police force was always a goal, doing our bidding while you march on the street. But they never realize that they're only just sheep. For real power resides in the hands of a few. You voted for parties. What more could you do? But what you don't know is they're one and the same. Old Gordon has passed good old David the reins, and you'll follow the leader who was put there by you. But your blood, it runs red, while our blood runs blue. But you simply don't see it's all part of the game. Another distraction, like money and fame. Get ready for wars in the name of the free, vaccinations for illness that will never be, the assault on your children's impressionable minds, and a microchipped world. You'll put up no fight. Information suppression will keep you in tone. Depopulation of peasants was always our goal. But eugenics was not what we hoped it would be. Oh yes, it was us that funded Nazis. But as long as we own all the media too, what's really happening does not concern you. So just go on watching your plasma TV, and the world will be run by the ones you can't see.
Okay guys, I'm back. So I want to show you what I found. If you've been watching my little experiments on constructing glasses to see the hidden world, as you guys know, I made these infrared glasses that's able to see things that the human eye can't see. I've been seeing these things everywhere. These apparitions, these, I guess you can say, aliens, everywhere. And I think at one point in time, I was going crazy. Now, I actually have evidence that these glasses work, but here's the crazy thing. I discovered something really, I guess creepy is the word to use. So, if you guys watch my video, part 4, I happened to catch a shadowy figure peeking from the corner, okay? And soon after that, I'm going to show you guys. You can see, you can watch my video. It's Constructing Glasses to See the Hidden World Part 4. This word right here popped up. So it was a caption. I put caption over my video because I wanted to pick up noises that was going on around me. Possible noises that you couldn't hear with the regular ear. And so the caption was to hear my voice while, you know, the music was playing over the song. And then this word popped up right there. I'm going to try to pronounce it. Stay with me, because there's a deep meaning behind these words. So it says, Unarundi Tuna Fukuru. And you can watch, I tried my best, I'm sorry. And you can actually go to my video and you can see the caption. Somebody said that as I was down in the basement of my office, because I saw like an apparition walking down the hallway, and it went down into the basement. That's when I captured the shadowy figure. And then as I'm recording and putting together this video, editing this video, this popped up. These popped up. So I went to Google, bear with me, to find out what the hell these words were, to try to find out the meaning. So I went to Google and then I typed in the word right there. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to tell you guys what it means. So Una Urudi Tuna Fakuru is a Swahili phrase that means you are coming back. We are thinking. Onarudi means you are coming back or returning. Tuna, excuse my, I'm not good with Swahili. This is my first time. Tuna Fakuru, we are thinking. That was in my video. Somebody had said that in my video. And then here's a little, and you can Google the meaning too. It's on Google. It says, the phrase implies that the speakers anticipate someone's return. They are thinking about that person or planning something related to the return. The specific context determines the exact nuance of the thinking part. This can imply a range of emotions or actions such as missing the person, preparing for the arrival, discussing plans, or simply being aware of an impending return. That was in my video. I have no idea the meaning behind it. I live in an area where there is no Swahili people around me whatsoever, but that came from the basement of my office. And that was the meaning of it. If you guys have any other information about this is what I typed in. The exact words and the meaning, and Google sent me that. You are coming back. Swahili phrase that means you are coming back. We are thinking. And yeah, that is crazy. If you guys have any information about that, this is my first I've had paranormal experiences in the past, but this is my first, legitimate, thing that I caught on camera. Not only did I catch a shadowy figure, but I caught somebody saying something through my captions through TikTok when I posted the video. So if you guys have any meaning, any idea of what that means, let me know.
Does signing glasses or something like that, Arben?
Okay, if you still think we live on a globe, I really want you to pay attention to this video. This is the planet Venus traced in the night sky over an 8-year period. Every 8 years, it does this mathematically precise, sacred geometric pattern on repeat into infinity. Now, this is why it does this. The planets are the only wandering luminaries in the night sky, and this is the path that they take. So they just keep on rotating in this beautiful flower of life geometric pattern until they create this perfect sacred geometry over about an 8-year period. Okay, now check this out. If you point a camera at Polaris, the North Star, which doesn't move, by the way, and time-lapse it, you'll notice that the stars do perfect circles around Polaris to infinity. The ones closest to Polaris are going slower. The ones further away are going faster. Now, the 8 planets, which aren't physical objects, I'm going to prove that in a second, they are the only wandering luminaries that don't follow this transit. Now, this is what Venus actually looks like. Does this look like a physical object to you guys? When you take a high-power zoom camera and zoom in on the planet Venus, this is what it actually looks like. They are wandering luminaries, just like all of our ancestors told us. This is what Mars looks like. Again, does this look like a physical object to you guys? There's a big difference from what we see and observe with our own 2 eyes to what NASA's CGI bullshit is telling you. And here you're gonna see Neptune. Again, this is not a physical planet, guys. They are frequencies of light within the waters above. It's as above, so below. And this is exactly what the stars really look like, guys, when you just zoom in on them. That's all you need to do. This is exactly what it is, guys. This is what all of our ancestors told us. What does this look like to you? It's frequencies, it's sound within water. That's what it is. Now I'm going to show you what cymatics look like, sound frequencies when they're pitched into water and they use a light. Look at this. It's the exact same thing, guys. This is what it is. This is exactly what you are seeing right here. These are cymatics. It's all sound and frequency. The truth is right in front of your face. You just need the eyes to see. I am telling you. I am telling you this is what it is. Stop believing the lies that your predecessors want you to believe. They are hiding God's true creation. This is what all of your ancestors tried to tell you. This is the wisdom and information that they passed along. The firmament, the waters above the firmament, the waters above, the stars on the firmament. Literally every single one of our ancestors all told us the exact same thing. It's right in your face. And the real truth to everything is found within us all. Peace and love, guys.
Jesus Christ is king. Oh man.
Hey, come on.
Yin and yang.
You don't lose weight, you lose impurities. And everybody that hear us talking now, tonight when they go to sleep, will go on a fast. Once you go to sleep, the body goes on a fast. When you wake up, eat your first meal, we call it breakfast. It's breaking the fast. When you tell people that, you say, why don't you go home and fast? And they'll go home and say, I heard Dick Gregory, I'm on a fast. They say, well, did you check with a doctor? You know, you don't check with a doctor when you do coke. You don't check with a doctor when you do alcohol. All the things that I ever did to corrupt my body, I never checked with nobody. Someone asked me the other day, some news station said, you know, you've been fasting for 30-some years. What does your doctor think? My doctor been dead 27 years.
I'm going to be honest with you, fasting is a cure for everything. When your body don't have nothing to eat, it's going to eat all your bad cells up because it go into fight or flight. And when it eats your bad cells, your body releases hydrogen. And, you know, we breathe in oxygen. So I be wondering like, damn, I done went all day without eating. I'm still pissing. Why am I pissing? You create our own water.
When the fast is, the sun's up to down?
That's what most people do from sun up to sundown. But I like to do it to where when I break my fast, it's just with liquids. I like that liquid diet.
So the best way to get rid of a mucinoid plaque? Fasting. Fasting. And I'm talking about long fasting and hydration, because hydration breaks up calcification and stagnation. And how do you hydrate? Water, H3O2, juices from your fruits, juices from your vegetables. And look, last but not least, what I've been talking about, eating alkaline forming foods. Eventually, it's going to decay and break off. Same, and look, and I used to use this analogy all the time, right? If you put a sticky substance on the floor, you're not gonna go sweep and mop it up without using water, correct? You're gonna use some type of solvent. You're going to use some type of liquid, some type of hydration to break up the sticky substance off the floor. You're doing the same thing with the mucinoid plaque that's actually built up inside of the intestines. You're going to take some type of hydration to break up the stagnation and calcium.
How about if you have high blood pressure and are on medication?